Hello everyone, today is Easter Sunday, it's Passover, it's the season of Ramadan, and so for many people around the world it is a time of reflection and a time for change. I'm Dr. David Murphy, I'm speaking to you from Leamington, Ontario in Canada. I'm a physician and I'm a psychotherapist. You know, you don't need to be religious to take time to reflect. If you're not particularly religious or even an atheist, taking time to reflect can still be an essential part of health and well-being. Self-isolation has always been an important part of the process of religious reflection, and so the social isolation that we are all doing to protect ourselves and others from the COVID19, the coronavirus pandemic, has given us the time and an opportunity to reflect on our lives and reflect on the things we would like to change about ourselves and about our lives. It's given us the time to reflect on where we are and where we would like to be. Now that we are isolated, we have become detached from many of the triggers for many of our behaviours. Behaviours that may have been helpful, but also behaviours that have been unhelpful or even destructive. You might already have noticed that you are craving some of your old experiences that you did out in the community, or you might already have noticed that many behaviours that you wanted to change for a long time are no longer an issue because you are no longer being triggered to do them. You may have started to notice that habits that have become outdated or have outlasted their usefulness and that need to be replaced by up-to-date, helpful habits. So the pandemic has given us all a wonderful opportunity to reevaluate ourselves and reevaluate our lives so that we are ready with new attitudes and new habits when we are able to go back out into the community again, when we can go back to our old jobs, back to our old way of life, and when also we will be confronted again by triggers for those old, out-of-date habits that we have decided to change. Now, all the patients in my medical psychotherapy practice have come to see me because they want to change something. They want to stop feeling anxiety. They want to stop feeling depressed. They want to stop being angry. They want to stop drinking or using drugs. They might want to stop being involved in destructive relationships. And at the same time, nearly everyone is looking for a quick fix. The part of the mind that is looking for a quick fix is there to help us move away from feeling the discomfort or feeling sad or feeling angry or feeling guilty or feeling afraid. Now that part of the mind is looking for a quick fix because it's there to help us move towards the comfortable feelings of happiness and contentment and serenity. This is the part of the mind that wants to help us to survive. It's the part of the mind that knows that if we're feeling uncomfortable or distressed for too long, then we will get sick, and that will affect our ability to survive. So when my patients first come to see me, they might have tried using many quick fixes. They might have tried the quick fix of drugs and alcohol. They might have taken prescribed medications in the hope that those medications would quickly solve their problems. They've tried many solutions, perhaps prescribed by many different people that offer a quick fix to their problems, and they will have been disappointed. So they come to me hoping that I have the magic wand that will fix all their problems. Sadly, I tell them, when I first set up my psychotherapy practice, I bought a magic wand that came with a guarantee that it would create change. I tried using that magic wand for a long time, and sadly it didn't work. I swished it, I waved it, I shouted at it, and nothing happened. I still have that magic wand in my drawer just in case, like Harry Potter, I come across just the right spell that will make my magic wand work and solve everybody's problems, including my own. So I go on to tell my patients that I have found that the solutions that work the best are the solutions for your problems that will come from within yourself. I may be able to offer some ideas for change, but it is still up to you to put those ideas into practice. It takes practice, lots of practice, to change an old habit into a new one. The old habit is like a pathway through the forest. We take that pathway because it's easier. Our brain, our minds, our bodies are always looking for the easiest route to any objective. Our bodies, our minds, and our brains are constantly seeking ways of conserving energy. We instinctively know that we need to conserve energy for our survival. If we burn too much energy, we will become sick and we will be unable to survive, or will at very least reduce our possibility of surviving. So we're constantly looking for ways of conserving energy, of maintaining balance in our bodies and in our minds, and so we look for the quick fix. We will even use a quick fix when the long-term consequences mean that we use more energy than the quick fix saves us. Because when we use the quick fix, we ignore the long-term consequences of the solution. This is the obvious outcome when someone becomes involved in an addiction. The addiction itself, the addictive behaviour, creates a quick fix of wellness and feeling of contentment, but the long-term impacts on health are huge. So starting a new habit is like creating a new path, a different path through the forest. It takes effort. Initially, we have to bushwhack. We might have to use a machete to break down branches. We might have to push our way through shrubs and bushes. We might find ourselves tripping on twigs and stones on the new route through the forest. If the end of the new pathway gives us a new, healthy reward, then we need to go back and use that pathway again. Over time, that pathway becomes more and more open, the ground becomes more and more trodden, the new pathway to the new reward becomes easier and becomes shorter and quicker than the pathway that resulted in an overall loss of energy. Also, illness and shortened life expectancy. The good news, though, is that as the new pathway becomes easier and easier, and we stop using the old pathway starts to become overgrown and impassable. However, if we relapse into the old behaviour and the old outcome, then the old pathway is opened up again, making it easier to use than if we stop using it completely. If, on the other hand, we stop using the old pathway altogether, over time it becomes so overgrown that we even forget to remember where it was. And the new pathway is no longer new, it becomes a long-time friend. And so change can often be a struggle between the part of the mind that wants the positive quick fix and doesn't pay attention to the long-term negative consequences, and the part of the mind that is aware of the bigger picture and realizes that an initial investment of energy will save huge amounts of energy over time. Change is a process. It is not an event. Even someone who reaches the rock bottom of their addiction and makes a sudden decision to change their behavior will find out that being sober takes practice. Lots of practice. Change takes lots of practice. We can learn to do something new very quickly, like learning to drive. However, to master the new behaviour, to the point where it becomes a new habit, takes practice. And it is important to practice a new behaviour in a quiet, relaxing time, instead of waiting until the trigger for an old behaviour, an old habit presents itself. Athletes and sports teams know you can't practice running or jumping or shooting a puck or heading a soccer ball in the middle of the event or in the middle of a game. Practice needs to happen in practice time. And so we need to start to change our old habits into the new ones. And as we start to create that new pathway through the forest, we also need to offer a quick and healthy solution for the distress that is being experienced by the part of the mind that needs a quick fix. The part of the mind that just wants to feel quickly, and that's okay. This is where it's important to learn self-soothing techniques. Self-soothing allows us to stop and think about the long-term consequences of our present moment decisions. It allows us to soothe that quick fix part of our mind, and self-soothing allows us to focus on the present and to continue to make rational solutions. So the isolation that we are all experiencing now is the opportunity to reflect on what we are doing and what we are not doing, what we would like to change, what we want to keep the same. The process of reflection is itself soothing to the body and soothing to the mind. It's also an opportunity to pause and reflect on the many things for which we are grateful, for the many things that we are already doing well, for the ways we are effectively taking care of our health. Reflection should not be all about problems. Reflecting on what we are grateful for and what we do well will boost our self-worth, it will boost our self-confidence and boost our energy. Energy, self-worth and confidence are invaluable tools for starting to break trail through that imaginary forest as we create that new imaginary pathway and develop that new healthy habit that will give us a sense of achievement and that will boost our mental, physical, emotional and spiritual health and energy, improve our mental, physical, emotional and spiritual health, and help us to survive the pandemic and be in a better place than we were before it started. If you want to learn more or to contact me, my website is drdavidmurphy.ca, that's drdavidmurphy.ca, or you can like my Facebook page, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. David Murphy, wishing you a happy Easter. Shalom, al-salam, wa-alaikum, shanti, hei ping, peace, stay healthy, stay well.